Hari Om. Good morning, children. Hope you are all doing good. Nice meeting you after a long time. First, let us express my congratulations for having been promoted to your 10th standard. Actually, this is a right time for you to set your career, right? It's commonly said that aimless man is an animal. So, fix an aim and try to move towards it. At the same time, man with a low aim is a criminal. So, try to fix an aim and you'll have to move towards it. Luckily, we have begun with the classes, online classes from May 1st onwards. We are glad we are just proceeding with the classes without any interruption, and it is up to you to attend the regular classes and qualify yourselves for the upgrading examination. Next, the year 2020 seems to be fancy, but has it turned the entire world clumsy by the spread of coronavirus. You are aware of the present situation and keep yourself safe at home. Along with safety and security, I'm sure this quarantine period is going to be useful to you to analyze yourselves and reveal your original nature, quality, capacity. By the term capacity, I mean you'll have to weigh yourselves. It's a self-confidence in you that you'll have to raise so that you will achieve your dream. All of us are ambitious, but not all are successful. Those who work hard accomplish it. Those who start cannot follow, give up their effort. Yet there are certain who do not try at all for they fear to attempt. Now it is up to you never to give up. Keep on trying. Let's come to the portions now. The first unit includes prose, poem and a supplementary. Today we'll just do with the prose part, His First Flight by Liam O'Flaherty. About the author. Liam O'Flaherty was an Irish novelist and a short story writer. He is a major figure of the Irish Renaissance too. He was a founding member of the Communist Party of Ireland. Some of his best short stories were written in Irish. His autobiography, Shame the Devil, was published in 1934. His novel, The Informer, was made into a film. His First Flight is regarded as one of the best stories. Collections of his short stories and letters were republished after his death. He is regarded as a strong voice for Irish nature and its culture. Next, we will move on to the introduction, which actually covers the gist of the story. His First Flight is a story of hesitation, trial and error, and ultimately succeeding the task. It is an interesting story of a hesitant and timid seagull learning the art of flying. While his two brothers and sister master the art of flying, his fear and hesitation prevent him from doing so. So his diving at the fish due to hunger proves a blessing disguise. After a shaky start, he spreads out his wings and starts flying upwards and downwards. That's his first flight. Thus, the message is conveyed by Flaherty that no one attains success instantly. Perseverance and continuous striving help one to succeed. Yeah. We are the shapers of our own destiny. That is what Dr. Kalam insists to. He says that with faith, you can change your own destiny. He was insisted by one of his masters that he needs to have faith in himself so that he will accomplish his dream. Coming to the storyline, his first flight is an interesting story of a young seagull, and he was afraid to fly. He had no confidence. He was full of pessimism. Here, I would like to underline the word pessimism. The opposite of the word pessimism is optimism. The acronym of the school reveals that O stands for optimism. Every child will have to develop this optimistic nature, always looking to the right and the bright side. Unless a child develops this attitude, I don't know how he's going to fulfill his dream here. And here the seagull had no confidence and he was full of pessimism. His two brothers and his sister had already learned the art of flying just a day before. But he didn't do because he had thought that his wings would not support him, and therefore he ran back to the little hole where he slept the previous night. His parents, brothers, and sisters encouraged him, scolded him, tempted him, and taunted him to make his first flight. But he had developed no courage to fly. He helplessly watched his parents perfecting his sibling in the art of flying. And the art of flying actually here means how the parents taught the young ones to skim the waves and how to dive for the fish. The whole family was enjoying while this poor thing was left alone for 20 hours and he ate nothing. Therefore, he wanted to seek the attention of his mother there, and he started standing on one leg and pretending to have his another leg hidden among the feathers and all that. But the mother did not bother at all. Somehow she wanted to motivate the young one to fly. Therefore, she picked up a piece of fish and flew across him. He thought the mother was just flying to him, but she just came near and he just flew and stood there in the mid-air. He just started diving and again left it. The sight of the food maddened him, and therefore he dived at the fish with a loud scream and fell upwards and downwards into space. He didn't know that he had started flying at all. Without his knowledge, he had just attempted to fly to take the fish from his mother, and his mother had just flown a bit higher and a bit higher, thereby making the young one to fly up. All of a sudden, his wings opened up automatically and he flapped his wings. But he fell just down onto the green sea. The seagull had completely forgotten that he was unable to fly, and he let himself free to dive, soar and curve at his will. He saw a green sea beneath him. His brothers and sisters were signaling him with a shrill voice. He was tired and weak with hunger, but he sank into the green sea and his belly touched it. He sank no farther. His family clapped and praised his deed, and he had at last made it, and it was his first flight. Thus, Liam O'Flaherty proves through this story that nothing is impossible. Of course, impossible is a word you come across in the Fool's Dictionary. Let us read this impossible as I'm possible, children, because nothing is impossible. And you have the motivation of your parents, you have the pampering of the teachers, and you have your self-motivation so that you can develop your attitude and never give up. This will definitely help you to achieve of who you want to be. And that is what we have learned through the lesson. And it proves the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. And the seagull has proved it. Seagull is only an example, and every reader will have to appeal the idea contained in the lesson, and we'll have to take it up and we'll have to make it up so that we can do and we can achieve. The assignment given to you is you'll have to recall the story and you'll have to answer the questions given there. The message conveyed in the lesson. Why was a young seagull afraid to fly? How did the parents and the siblings support and encourage the young seagulls to fly? What prompted the young seagull to fly finally? How did the bird feel when it started flying for the first time? And what did the young bird's family do when he started flying? Through these questions, you cover the entire lesson. The message conveyed in this lesson is the self-confidence, the self-motivation, and you have to be bold enough to face all the challenges there. Like the young seagull. The young seagull was afraid because it had no courage to fly. It had no trust over its wings there. His parents and the siblings supported him and encouraged him. Initially, they just scolded him, threatened him, and it was all in vain. But somehow, the mother motivated by picking up a piece of fish, which prompted the young seagull to fly finally. It had remained hungry for almost 20 hours, which prompted the young seagull to fly finally. Maddened at the sight of the food, it started flying. And when it started flying for the first time, it just screamed with joy. And it didn't know that it had started flying too. It's all the mindset that we have, children. Therefore, set your mind. And this mind enables one to do whatever you want to do. And towards the end, we could see the young birds of family enjoying the entire sight of the seagull flying. So the questions given have covered the entire lesson, which will help you to understand. Now, this prose part is an intensive reader where you'll have to understand the concept of the lesson, as well as you'll have to go for the vocabulary too. The vocabulary actually includes your synonyms, your antonyms, and the other parts there. Synonyms, the words similar in meaning. Antonyms, the words opposite. So learning a word includes your synonyms, your antonyms, and making a new word by adding a derivative or an affixes, a prefix or a suffix there, and that's what we are going to do. And English is a peculiar language where the same word can be expressed either as a noun or as an adjective or as an adverb. Now, this is the vocabulary piece given in your text. The set one, you have 3 sentences here. The young seagull uttered a joyful scream. The second sentence, the young seagull screamed with joy. The third sentence, the young seagull screamed joyfully. Look at the underlined word there. The first sentence is in the form of an adjective. What sort of scream it was said? It was a joyful scream. The young seagull screamed with joy. Joy is a noun here. Noun is a naming word, you know, and it answers to the question, how it screamed. The young seagull screamed joyfully. It is an adverb here. Now, you'll have to understand that one form can be expressed in the other form, but without altering the meaning there. Look at the second set here. The young bird pretended to be falling asleep. Pretended is a verb here. The young bird made a pretension of falling asleep. Pretension. Made what? A pretension. It again answers to a noun there. The young bird made a pretentious posture of falling asleep. Now, this clearly states that English is a peculiar language where the one form of word can be expressed either as a noun or an adjective or an adverb. Now, we can refer to your text and try to complete the table that is given there and the exercise that is given there on pages 6 and 7 respectively. With this, children, I just wind up with the prose part, and tomorrow I think we'll be doing with the poem Life, written by Henry Van Dyke. Again, it comes under the same concept. Come prepared. It is a memory poem too, and hope you will just be seated with your text before so that you will follow what is taught tomorrow. Thank you.